A very warm good evening, everybody. Welcome you all to the sixth international conference of RX Doctors SYCCON. Yes, sixth, it's Stereo Career Conference Series 6, the ultimate career destination for PharmD aspirants. And this is the eighth day of our series. It is organized by RX Doctors, organizing partner STA Premier Clinical Research Institute, powered by EWTI, Overseas Educational Career Consultant, Radiant Health Training Center, and our esteemed educational partners, Vagdevi College of Pharmacy, Chugari Veramalappa Memorial College of Pharmacy, Bellary Jayamukhi College of Pharmacy, Akshaya Institute of Pharmacy, Sri Abhirami College of Pharmacy, Seven Hills College of Pharmacy, KLE Academy of Higher Education and Research. And this is me, Jenny from LC, your host for today. And today, as per the schedule which you might have got from the browser, we had only two speakers. But as unfortunately our speaker Monica couldn't join us yesterday, she is here today with a wonderful presentation for us and an enlightening session. So, with no further ado, let's move on to today's session. The first session by Dr. Maunika, who is an assistant manager in global medical affairs at Hetero Hyderabad, Telangana. And she'll be speaking on the topic of Global Medical Affairs Decoded, a complete roadmap for PharmD aspirants. So let me take the privilege to welcome our speaker. So, we are really honored to welcome Dr. Maunika, a dynamic medical professional with a diverse background spanning clinical pharmacology, research coordination, and global medical affairs. Dr. Maunika began her journey as an undergraduate research fellow at Gandhi Hospital during the peak of COVID-19 pandemic. She contributed significantly as a part of the COVID care team at Vasavi Hospital, managing the frontline responsibilities. She later advanced into specialized roles in clinical pharmacology at Citizen Specialty Hospital and Pratima Hospital, where she worked on therapeutic area reviews, drug safety, and research development. Her career progressed into the pharmaceutical industry as a regional medicinal officer at Shield Healthcare, and she currently serves as the assistant manager, global medical affairs at Hetero. In this role, she leads medical strategies and communications in key therapeutic areas such as virology, neurology, gastrology, and biosimilars, bridging cutting edge science with clinical solution. With expertise in medical writing, literature reviews, CME developments, and product strategy, Dr. Monica brings a holistic view of healthcare from patient bedside to global health innovation. So, please, everybody, do let you know of how enthusiastic and happy you are in welcoming Dr. Monica by giving your reactions down below. Ma'am, we welcome you to this session, and the stage is yours. Ma'am, your mic is being muted. We couldn't hear you.
I'm sorry. Thank you so much for inviting me. And also, I would give some credits to RX Doctor also. Like, you people are doing great, like regarding this conference and helping out the fellow families. It's amazing responsibility which you have taken. And yes, as you have mentioned, I'm ready to share some global medical affairs insights for you, people who are actually interested. Majority of people know what exactly is medical affairs. So I just wanted to differentiate. There are n number of medical affairs departments, and let me help you with understanding of this presentation. And do let me ask questions, more questions. I would be more interested to answer your questions too. So give me a couple of minutes. So I hope my screen is full and I'm expecting more and more questions. So basically, global medical affairs, the name itself, it explains you in the international level, it's called global medical affairs. If it is in India, it is generally called domestic medical affairs or simply
I'm
by
very
term
sorry
medical
to
affairs.
interrupt. We couldn't hear you properly. It's so much. Maybe the network is not good, I guess, ma'am. So could you check on it, please?
So, shall I off my camera when I'm presenting? Is it okay?
Yes, ma'am. It's up to you, ma'am.
So my screen is visible, right?
Yes, ma'am. We could see it.
I'll be going to the presentation and as well as I will be sharing why medical affairs? Why everywhere it is medical affairs is doing? Why is it rising star, especially in pharma sector? Traditionally, pharma marketing was more of like an MR with medical representative go to a doctor with ask for prescription. And now that practice has been saturated. Now the practitioners need more clinical insights, clinical literature, medical support, and we want somebody from the pharma industry who really has very clinical knowledge to liaise with them, to talk with them, to understand more about the product clinical specialty. So I as per my founding curriculum, you all know that we are well versed with our clinical knowledge. So whatever the clinical knowledge a family graduate has, which is more than sufficient to become a ideal medical affairs professional. Thing is, we just need a proper guidance along with that, like network. Medical affairs, yes, because traditional marketing methods have been not in the limelight now. So doctors need people who are clinically strong from the pharma sectors. So generally, initially it was MD pharmacologist. Now the PharmD have proven we have more clinical knowledge and as well as MD pharmacologist with respect to clinical knowledge the pharma. So that's how we started placing ourselves in the department of medical affairs. So what exactly a medical affairs professional will do? Yes, which I have stated, there is increase and of medical affairs. And then compare it with other career paths like PT and CDF. Like medical affairs have unique set of things where medical affairs is a front facing group, especially when
Ma'am,
COVID.
really sorry. Once again, it is as it's same as at the beginning. Ma'am, we couldn't hear not even a word is
Okay, you did not hear us. Answer. Am I audible now? Clearly?
Yes, ma'am. Now it's better, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So, why medical affairs? Because family has great clinical knowledge. Our academics are very strong enough to fulfill the requirement for the medical affairs department. So, initially there were PhDs and PharmD, PhDs and MDs. Now PharmDs also are in the loop because we have proved multiple times that we have good and great clinical knowledge, which actually helps the company to use us as a scientific expert of strategic insights. So we generally serve as a bridge between healthcare delivery, patient outcomes, and scientific innovation. We are actually a middleman, basically, from the pharmaceutical company and the doctor. We are actually the middlemen. And I have mentioned, like, in my past experience, when I was working as a clinical pharmacologist, I was not aware that there is a special department like medical affairs. So at the time, I was working with my ward rounds with my oncology department. So I have got a responsibility, additional responsibility of working as a research coordinator for the Novartis. It's a Novartis based clinical trial. So when I was actually working on the trial, addressing my duties as research coordinator, so there was a research associate who actually, basically she's a project manager, so she'll be looking after this clinical trials in the hospital. So she advised, you are a PharmD with good clinical knowledge. Why don't you try in the medical affairs? So I felt it is interesting, but simultaneously I was hesitated because medical affairs needs very much flexibility, and flexible to travel, should have great communication and all. I was worried whether do I have or not. But the clinical work which we do in the hospitals, which I have learned in the hospital, maybe during my academic year or during my clinical pharmacologist career. So I have given a number of trainings, presentations, meet doctors, discuss with them regarding articles, change of treatment. So I thought these kind of works, if we improvise in the corporate sector, then that work is more or less equal to medical affairs. So traditionally we know the hospital settings is more or less like same work, same day-to-day life. So I was a bit enthusiastic to learn, to travel, to think, to make strategies to impact the business. So I found at the time, maybe because of my family knowledge, because of my clinical knowledge, I might be the right choice for the medical affairs. So I wanted to overcome the challenges which I had in the hospital setup. So that's how I shifted from the hospital to medical affairs, where I'm responsible to create strategies for the new product development and to identify important key opinion leaders who help pharma company in development of new product development. Uh, and also that environment made me a self-learning individual. So that's how the hospital settings to medical affairs transition was related. And what exactly medical affairs person do? From past a few minutes, I'm telling medical affairs is that, medical affairs is great, that and all. So what exactly a medical affairs professional do? Thing is, there are different set of responsibilities. The main thing is communicating the data. So until or unless we don't have the data, we cannot communicate with the KOL, which is key opinion leader. Generally, we from the pharma side, who are the prescribers or who are the great contributors to science and to the publications and to the research, we categorize them into KOLs, which is key opinion leaders. So in order to communicate with them, we need great communicating data, and we need HCP healthcare professional engaging. So that is one of the most important aspect. Though we have a data, But who would be the person to discuss that data to the doctor? Ultimately, it's a medical affairs professional only who engages with the doctors. And another thing is generating real world evidence. So there is another set of studies which are real world evidence. These studies are not traditional clinical studies. These are generally done in various set of patients in the real world. So they try to get the information what exactly is happening once this particular drug in the market, what exactly is happening with different comorbid conditions. So this evidence generation in the real world settings is currently the best practice to get the insights what exactly is happening in the real world. And internal collaboration, why internal collaboration? Because medical person is the point of contact for marketing, regulatory. Everybody would be dependent on medical affairs insights. Like what we say is the
Ma'am,
base for marketing.
ma'am, your slide is
Yes.
in still on the first slide, ma'am. It isn't.
It is not moving.
Yes, ma'am. We could see the first slide and not the other subsequent ones.
Let me reshare. Is it moving now?
Oh, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So we are over here. And internal collaboration, which I was discussing, because clinical knowledge, what we have, neither marketing personnel have, neither regulatory personnel have. So everybody are dependent on medical affairs insights only in the company. So whatever the insights which we take from meeting doctors, from the real world evidence studies, and from the existing data regarding the product, we combine all these insights, we interpret based on our clinical knowledge, and with our internal collaboration, we advise medical marketing and regulatory and other stakeholders to enhance the product. And sometimes commercial alignment too, we are also involved in that commercial alignment. So because of this major responsibilities, medical affairs has higher impact in pharma sectors, front facing strategic involvement. This makes how important is medical person. Thing is, if you are considering your switch to medical affairs, make sure you have very good clinical background. Like you should be well versed with your academics. If needed, hospital knowledge also would be great add-on if you are shifting yourself to medical affairs. So I have mentioned, right, domestic and international. So consider if you are in a domestic pharma like or any kind of company which has domestic operations. The first level is medical science liaison. So this role is the main initial role of a medical affairs, and that MSL is responsible to meet the doctors, to take the insights and gather the clinical practice insights, and all the insights would be shared in the HO with either with the medical advisor or with the medical information specialist. So in different companies, different terminologies are there. Some companies name them as medical advisor, executive. Some company name them as medical science liaison, regional medical advisor. So in starting of medical affairs career would start Generally, I would advise you to start as MSL or RMA at least for a year, because if you work in the field, you will understand the nature of the doctors. You will understand the importance of getting the insights. Then, based on your convenience, you can shift to medical advisor, medical information, or medical communication. There are n number of departments, but initial stage, which are front end, who are responsible to take the insight from the doctors, are MSLs. They are more important personnels in medical affairs department. Once the information from MSLs gets to the medical information specialist or medical advisors, they understand these insights, use the appropriate data to strategize. And then one of the most important aspect of medical information specialist is whatever the queries which we come from the doctors would be addressed by medical information specialist. And ultimately, leadership, medical directors or medical advisors or medical heads, they are responsible to create the strategies for the development. What exactly is the strategy? Strategy from past few minutes I'm discussing. Strategy is nothing but consider if a drug. I'll tell you because I have experience of only working in generic pharma companies. I hope I'm looking forward to even get the exposure of medical affairs in innovative companies too. Yes. So what exactly happens is sometimes new innovative products, generic companies along with the innovator companies, they tie up in the bond, and as soon as we get the bond with the innovative companies, we tend to work on this drug, what is the patient pool, which comorbids we can give, what exactly each country has, how many diabetic patients, whether this particular drug will only go in type 2 or type 2 cardiovascular, type 2 kidney disease. So this patient funneling and patient journey, we give the estimate how exactly per year how many tablets or how many injections would be needed in that particular country. We would give projections how big the molecule would be, which is used by marketing persons to make their target easier. So far, any questions? Yeah. So what exactly the skills you need? You would be needing understanding of entire scientific knowledge. You need proper interpretation of a clinical trial, how to understand epidemiology, how to understand biostats, how exactly healthcare economics works, what exactly is how global healthcare system works. And there are some aspects maybe in further you will understand, but not as an aspirant. There are certain things which are called compliance, which is a major issue, because whenever a pharma company releases any scientific information, either it might be any promotional material which goes out of the pharma company, needs approval of a medical affairs person. Until or unless a medical affairs personnel approves it, no matter what is the level, maybe it might be a junior level or senior level, until or unless a medical person approves that material, then only it will go out, because regulatory issues are much dominant. It would sue a company if there is any mistakes in that particular promo materials. And also, we should have that skill to communicate. We should be a great communicators. We should have great interpretation in the science, like giving a scientific speech. So all these, and also training. Training is a important aspect in medical affairs too. So all these skills would make a medical affairs professional an ideal person. So, how do you shift, which I have mentioned earlier? Understand, no matter which sector you are, try to understand how clinical trial works, how a publication is. If you look at an article, try to understand what is the study endpoint and what is the p value, what is the coefficient interval, which kind of graph is utilized in so on. For example, forest plot graph is generally considered in systemic meta-analysis. By just seeing the graph, you should be able to understand what type of article it is. So try to understand the level of evidence. So end of the session, you would be searching in your Google that what is types of literature, level of evidence, and how to identify statistics like p-value, whether 0.01, 0.05, what is the accuracy among this. So even though you are working in a hospital, even though you are a student, you will be accessing articles in your day-to-day life, and you should be responsible to put efforts to read an article, to understand the article in deep, not only like, okay, conclusion is there, I'll just go through the conclusion. No, don't do like that. Even I made that mistake. That is the reason I'm repeating. Don't do that mistake. Firstly, whenever you are seeing an article, understand whether the article has mentioned objective, if there are any stats which they mention, p value significant, you might be seeing much more. So, what is the significance of p value? Whether 0.01 is true value, 0.06 is true value. So try to understand statistics, how exactly it would help to you to understand the article. So that is one thing, and try to learn more of disease state expertise in your curriculum, and try to understand, because we don't have pediatrics. So if you are intern or a fifth year, I really advise you to go talk to your faculty to give you a platform, to give you a hospital postings at least for 1 or 2 months, especially in the areas where you don't have academics. Like I guess proper pediatric academic schedule has not been seen in much universities. So try to get as much as exposure in the pediatrics, in the gynaes, surgery, anesthesia. Why I'm telling surgery? Because there are n number of drugs, n number of modification which you will be learning in anesthesia, pre surgery, post surgery medication changes. So these are all factors you would understand. These base of clinical knowledge would help you in understanding in your future aspects. And you should be really very great communicator. You should have very good communication skills. This is the base, and ultimately, the more you connect with the people, you will get the information where exactly is the vacancy is there, and based on the skills, anybody, if there is a fresher, or if you are a PV background, or if you are a clinical pharmacologist background, then it is much more easier for you people to jump into the medical affairs department. So projections regarding mid-career, there are n number of departments in medical affairs. You might be a senior MSL, you might be a medical affairs manager, you might be scientific writer in medical affairs, you might be a medical reviewer in medical affairs, medical information, medical communication, scientific writing. All this comes under medical affairs. Just thing is, MSL will travel more, medical advisor limited, less travel would be there, especially in conferences, and medical communication, medical information also is very limited. So all the roles in the medical affairs are equally and very much important in the pharma company. Yeah. So I have mentioned real world impact. So why MSLs are actually considered. So if you consider any, this is a example. So product launch, if the company is trying to launch drug X, so simply launching the company marketing people will not understand whether that molecule will be succeeded or not. To understand how the doctor is seeing such type of diseases, what exactly is the need, the clinical insights MSL will give to the marketing and medical head who is there, and they would strategize, and that's how MSL will add on his KOL interaction insights for the successful product launch. And also, if you see in COVID-19, rapid innovations have happened, like steroids, how exactly steroids are considered to use. And some studies have even mentioned evabrad and all. Sorry, ivermectin also. But there is no much add-on for that ivermectin as which works on COVID-19. So they were working so hard in though I was not there at the time in the medical affairs, but I've seen my seniors who are working immensely, especially on the remdesivir in the India. So the way they were in the very fast projections they made successful product launch for remdesivir, and that's how it went great. Though initially doctors was not ready to use, but because of medical affairs professionals and their liaison, the way they disseminated scientific information to healthcare professionals helped them to use more and more remdesivir. That's how it helped patients as well as pharma companies. Yeah. So digital, one more thing I wanted to add, these days more are digital activities, especially there are two types which are mentioned, domestic and international. So I stay in Hyderabad, but I operate operations in Latin America, Russia, Africa. So I deal with marketing and sales in that countries on day-to-day basis. Initially, I started as RMA in domestic market where I used to go to the doctors, meet the field persons, used to do conferences, CMAs with the doctors, ad boards with the doctors, get the insight. That was only my job. Now, the more is I stay in Hyderabad. So repeated travel is generally not recommended. Like I cannot travel monthly once. So, but I need doctor engagement too. Though we have MSLs in the specific country, but strategies we develop. So, in the countries where MSLs are not there, there becomes challenges. So, only channel is like using some digital platforms for the virtual scientific exchange with the doctors. We do webinars, we do virtual conferences, meet and conduct ad booths. So even without traveling, also by using digital platforms, we actually get the insight. So one difference between global and Indian is global standards are more of compliance. India has less interest of compliance, but global standards have more compliance. And thing is, every country has different set of rules, regulations. So working in a global setup, we need to be flexible enough to understand different countries' regulatory bodies, different countries' MOH, and based on the disease parameters. Some countries has Ebola still, and some countries does not have high burden of GRD. Especially when I was dealing with the esomeprazole launch in African country, I was explaining them about because I need to explain first my sales and marketing person. I was dealing with such persons. They were like, We don't have much GERD, but we have other disease. Basically, that particular disease is very rare conditions. So I was shocked. Basically, that particular disease is not seen much in the India and neither in the Western countries. But in Africa, that particular, especially in Namibia, I have seen that. So different disease patterns are there in different set of diseases. So when you are in global, you should be updated with the country specific epidemiology, country specific disease statistics. Yeah, this is all about global medical affairs. So there is no much difference. Thing is, field domestic Indian medical affairs is more of in person meets, get the information, drive the strategies, work on product monograph, work on the launch slides, work on the CMA slide decks, like that. Global is also same, but thing is we deal with multiple countries with multiple regulations. So that's about the importance of medical affairs. So any more questions?